Oh no, wait. Okay, I have too many things. Okay, I think I'm good on my end. Okay, so I thought we could start with the tour right now. More than and I have to do it on my computer. Okay, there you go. So I thought we could start with the tour, and you guys already see half of the house. Wait, let me. Oh no, I guess I have to do like. All right. So this is what you see when you first come in. They had like that scary like background music when I first opened the door for the house. And I was like doing some other stuff, so it took a while. So I kind of got a little bit scared. Oh no, I turned the lights off. Oh no, hold on. I forgot I was doing this tour and I turned the lights off. No, I think we just need this one. Oh wait, what the heck? There you go. Why isn't there you go? My goodness, it wasn't going in. So we have Dustin's room here. There you go. And his little pet. We are told he might bite. And so I'm not touching that. This room has 3 beds and some clothes. I don't think we can actually wear that, but if you really wanted it, I think you can get it on Amazon or something. There's some artwork here. There's some newspapers, some info. And if we open up the closet, there's a cosplay in there. So there you go. Also, this is a teen's room, so it would not be a teen's room without a poster in the back of the door. So that's room 1. The living room does have a bunch of really cool stuff that you can read through, go through. The whole house is 80s style. So over there you can kind of see my computer, and it just kind of kills the vibe. But as you can see, this is the buyer's house. So there's pictures of the family like you have in homes and stuff. There's some artwork there as well. And please let us know if you've seen this kid. So we're gonna go into one of the bathrooms. Because yes, even the bathrooms are decorated. I actually quite like this. This is the rainbow room. I don't like to use this one because this is the first face that you can see. And I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. So here's the things. Here's some things to test yourself and your potential abilities. So that's one bathroom. And this is room number 2. And room number 2 has a functioning game. It actually works. I'm not very good at it, and I don't have a stand for my phone. I don't even know. Like, I don't have a way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yes, I'm really bad at it. But it is available here. And then we have this wall here, with some props and stuff. I I keep thinking that the prices are a little expensive for these things. Let me know if you agree. Because this is the mall. So if you go to the mall, you see that there are other things that are less expensive. This actually works. You can actually like play music on this. Um, Again, you have pictures of people and more stuff. See, this is like way cheaper for a pizza. What is it? No, two large pizzas, 16.33. Oh, plus 4 large drinks and breadsticks. Anyway, there's a lot of like little details in here that I just really love. So this is the second room. Oh no. There. I was muted the whole time. Okay, so okay, this one's live. I'm entering the room again. Or the studio. Okay, I'm about to see. Okay, there you go. Okay. So we just came. I mean, that was the second room. And as we're coming out of the second room, we see something that is actually not from the 80s, but we appreciate very much anyways. And then we have the kitchen. I'm gonna skip this area because all my from this century stuff is here, and it kind of kills the vibe. But there is something right on this wall you might recognize. Also in the kitchen. Oh, there's my food. Oops. There you go. No, just a normal kitchen or hell, one of the two. And with a portal to hell. Whatever. It is Hellfire's kitchen, and it's only for members. But they are looking for new players, so if you're interested, this is the form you have to fill out. And as with any house, there's artwork that the kids do. This almost made me cry. If you wanted some pizza, then more artwork and lovely pictures. Now, oh yeah, I was focused on that one. And I was like, oh my gosh, no way. Oh, that one's cool. What's behind this door right here? Oh, I wonder if we can go in. And ta-da! I screamed the first time, not afterwards. But we had someone come. Thank you. The puck says, because you're the one that showed us this little detail right here, which I hadn't noticed because I didn't want to get too close, if you know what I mean. But if you are interested in going to the upside down, we are heading there next. Da-da-da. Wait, there's this room has like this really cool thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to capture it with my phone. You can kind of see it. Oh, you can kind of see it a little bit. So this is the upside down. So there's like weird things falling from the sky, and also there's like monsters and stuff. Can you see what I'm saying? You guys see that? Well, it's really cool in person. If you want to see it in person, you kind of have to come. uh, Here, but yeah, it's I guess this is the most advanced. Uh, it has the latest of everything, including weapons, so you can defend yourself in the upside down. And wow, I stared at that a little too much. All right, wait, hold on. Let me turn that off before I leave. Okay, we're getting out of here. It's creepy enough. All right, and we're back at the beginning. I'm gonna go dark for a little bit. 1 second. No, no, no. It's echoing. Hold on. It's echoing. It's echoing. Okay, that should be good. All right. Well, that was a quick sort of tour of the house. I realized when I was trying to set up for this, I was kind of worried that my hair was going to be kind of, because it's at an awkward length right now. And yesterday I noticed that the tips of my hair were just kind of like flaring up like that, and I was like, I don't know if I like that, but I wanted it to have be back or whatever. And I was like, you know what, it doesn't really matter because where I'm standing right now, it looks like my hair's like this. So turns out that I'm the real mind flayer. Yes, I am the mind flayer. Dun, dun, dun. Anyways, yeah, that's the tour. I am so tired because I am an old lady, and I'm tired. Yeah, I was like, yeah, there's no other explanation. I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady, and I am tired. That's it. Uh, so there's a bunch of things I wanted to talk about today, actually, but I want to save some things for later. I don't want to bombard you guys with a bunch of things. I wonder if tomorrow we can do a painting stream instead. I painted pretty much for solid 3 hours maybe today, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So I'm wondering if maybe tomorrow we can have a painting stream. I don't know. No, maybe not, because I have to clean up. Um, I have to clean up, and it's a lot of things that need to go into my car. So I was gonna say a joke. Uh, I was gonna be like, if you guys notice something behind me, can you guys not tell me? Because I might be scared. And clearly, there's something behind me. But, anyways, I know the house has it's an Airbnb, so you can make reserve it for the day, for the weekend or whatever. But they're also doing these special things because, like I showed you guys, there was a lot of memorabilia from like the 80s and whatnot. So it's it's a great spot to come and like watch movies. They have a good collection of movies in VHS, and it's so cool because I guess they knew that we were like, oh, we want to watch a VHS, and they actually have a QR code that you can, that I think it leads you to a video where they tell you what to how to play them. I didn't watch it. I made someone else do it. They volunteered. It wasn't me. I'm now remembering that I was supposed to put a box under my computer so it could be more lifted, but I didn't because I was eating dinner and then I forgot. Um, Yesterday was the first night that I was here, and it was kind of I was kind of spooked because the whole Vecna thing like scared me, and and then I was like, just don't think about it. And it just, again, it has a vibe. There's a vibe to the house, and it's just kind of creepy looking, And I have an overactive imagination or whatever, and I am scaredy cat, so I get scared a lot. No, I probably shouldn't move. Sorry. I need like a fidget. I don't have a fidget with me. I don't have a fidget with me. I forgot what I was saying. Yes, it was kind of creepy. I've been here, but I did survive. I lived. We shall see if I lived tomorrow as well, or if it's the last time you all see me. Because otherwise, I might be in the upside down. Do you think you could survive in the upside down if you were given like enough preparation and like weapons? I would just immediately, what's that mean? Immediately no. Immediately no. I don't want to be fighting for my life. I think I would do it if like a family member or like a really good friend of mine, like somehow got snatched and went in there. I would be like, oh shoot, like, I'm a good person, I'm kind, I want to be helpful. But if somebody else is like, I'll go in there, I'm gonna be like, you go girl. Or like, because I'm scared. And I think how a lot of people are like, I guess it's a joke, or there's some truth behind it. They're like, oh, if I got distracted by watching something else here in the house. Oh, you know how they're like, oh, be careful, because like dogs can smell fear or whatever. And then I'm like, well, if like Vecna could smell fear, which I'm pretty like, maybe not smell it, but maybe sense it, because isn't that how he got like them peoples to like end up in the upside down or whatever? I we would immediately be found, because I would just be so afraid. I would just be not able to move. Either that or my ADHD, like my whole brain would just go like completely have a breakdown, and I would just act impulsively and immediately die. So I think somebody else should go, is what I'm trying to say. Because I would not survive, and I will probably endanger everyone else around me. How about you guys? Do you guys think you would survive if you ended up in the upside down? I guess I can do it as a dual question. Like, would you survive in upside down, or do you think you can survive because the upside down somehow made it to our world? So it is possible that you know we could also be hunted here. They have a rocking chair up front, and I realized that there's three things that I find very scary. Children laughing in a sort of like very quiet thing, and like just not doing anything else, just laughing. Mexican women praying in Spanish. Oh, I guess they don't have to be Mexican, but just praying in Spanish. I just, for some reason, again, there's a vibe, and it could, like, be potentially very scary. And then rocking chairs, like rocking by themselves. I think that would be the worst thing. You would only go into the upside down if you were wearing the invisibility cloak. But what if Vecna can like smell your fear though? Would he be able to find you? I would be found immediately. The other day I was doing a therapy session, and I was sitting in front of obviously my computer, and I was holding a pencil, and the pencil essentially was my fidget toy. And I realized how much I love pencils. I haven't actually used a pencil in a while, for more than just sketching or taking that one note. Yeah, me too. I mean, I think, I don't know, like, do you think like a bazooka would be? Well, actually, I don't think I can fire a bazooka. Plus, they would be like really heavy. Like, I don't know. What if we dropped an atomic bomb into the upside down? Like, what is the upside down anyway? Is it like someone's, like, and you know what? It doesn't really matter. We're gonna like circle around in like conspiracies and theories, and never get anywhere. But so today, what we were gonna do is we were going to talk about. Wait, I wrote it down and then I forgot. Wait, what's the title of this stream? Self-compassion. That's it. I want to talk about self-compassion. I was supposed to do. Well, I wasn't supposed to. I guess the other option was to do self-advocacy, but I thought, hey, maybe self-compassion is more needed nowadays. For the benefit of my mental health, I kind of have to set boundaries for myself when it comes to, I guess, curating what news I get and how much I am involved in watching the news. Because it doesn't matter where you kind of get your news from. It is a lot of repetition, a lot of doom and gloom for pretty much everything. And my anxious brain just immediately gets depressed. And that's just not good for me or anyone sort of like around me. So I have to be a bit more careful on how I obtain my news. So sometimes I feel like I am behind in certain things that are happening, or I'm not really catching everything, that all of the consequences of what could be happening sort of like out in the world. Because whatever happens sort of in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to sort of like politics or talks between like two different countries and stuff, like life continues on for us. Like, we still have to go to work, like we still have to um feed ourselves, to still pay rent, right? So there's other priorities that we may have. And I think sometimes, because we have those priorities, whether you're a parent, whether you're an adult, and have a lot of like responsibilities and other priorities, it makes it really difficult for us to be compassionate towards ourselves. One is because potentially nobody showed us how to do that. Nobody talked about it in our sort of like society, or in our community. And also because we're so used to being busy. I think, especially in the United States, I think it's a little bit different in other countries. We're so used to being so busy that we kind of forget to take care of ourselves. And that's why I really believe in the mission of Psychology for Geeks, which is to encourage everyone to focus more on themselves, even if it's just a little bit. A lot of the times, whenever I'm advocating for, self compassion or self care, or, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of, someone else, people are like, well, a lot of that takes money. It takes time, energy, and effort, and things that are a commodity, right? So healing is, um it's not something that's easily accessible to everyone. It is quite a journey that we have to go through. And whether or not we started our healing journey, we often take on the blame. We often take on the responsibility of, I should have done better, I could have done better, I would have done better, right? So it just kind of becomes a litany of I should have, could have, would have for ourselves. And we kind of get stuck there, right? And then we just kind of like learn to live with the grief and the guilt and all of the negative sort of like emotions. So I am here to talk to you about self compassion. Self compassion is a relatively simple uh, concept that is very, very difficult to do. Only because it's not something that we're used to. But once you start, and like, once you start practicing, and it just gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. But again, it's something that we cannot have to consistently remind ourselves on what to do. So for self-compassion, the first thing that we have to understand is, what does it mean to be kind? What's the difference between being kind and being nice? I actually didn't know this answer until a few years ago, where one of my supervisors uh, used this example, and he said, hey, let's say you go to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and you have fish for dinner. And later, somebody asks you, oh, how was the restaurant? And you say, oh, it was nice. The restaurant was nice. The food was nice. You wouldn't say it was kind, right? It's just nice nowadays. It's a word. It's kind of like a filler word. We don't really want to say our true opinion of it for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna say nice. It's kind of like a similar way in which, how we are supposed to respond to a greeting when someone says, hey, hello, hi, hello, how are you doing? You say, oh, good, I've been good, right? Even if it's not true, because you don't really want to engage. The person that asks probably doesn't even care to know. But uh, nonetheless, it's sort of like a thing that we all learn to say. Then kindness is actually something that is not always good, or it doesn't always feel good. Because what is that? What's the phrase that people use sometimes? Tough love. Tough love is a thing. However, I don't think it's always helpful, because sometimes people use that phrase to just be plain out rude and mean to other people. And then they're just like, oh, it's just tough love. That is not what tough love means. Tough love means, um, or what it should mean, in my opinion, is um, letting you know that you made a mistake or that you're wrong, even though it's hard, even though it's going to break your heart, or even though it's not going to be it there isn't a good kind, like a good nice feeling following that, right? uh, but because again, especially in the US, we grew up sort of like in this society where we don't want to experience any of the negative emotions. it's we often avoid it. We often avoid having conversations with people to tell them the truth or the hard hitting truth because it's gonna make them feel bad, because it's gonna create a problem. They might leave the friendship. They might retaliate in some way. But that's what true kindness is, right? So part of being compassionate with ourselves is really me not this way, this way, is being able to be kind to ourselves, and that is really hard. A lot of the times it's because we don't know how, like we don't know how to do it. I have so this is one of the sort of like free presentations that I do for my community. Sometimes I do them at libraries or other nonprofit organizations. And sometimes I ask the audience, because I'm trying to be better and including more people and not just rambling on like I am doing now. I ask people and I'm like, oh, well, what do you do to be kind to yourselves? Sometimes people do have like an answer for the most part, which is kind of like smiles a little bit and like looks around to see if anybody has an answer, and then there is no answer. From the large majority of people, there is no, oh, here's a list of things, right? Because I know how to do it. I think about this often. I am trying to work on it and improve. No, most of us just kind of go like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be kind to myself and not just other people. But I forget. And then sometimes we use sort of like a similar excuse of like, well, playing video games is it's self-care, right? So I'm just gonna spend like 3 4 days or a whole week for my birthday just playing video games and doing nothing else. That's actually not very helpful either. So we can't just say, oh, I'm being kind to myself and I am just going to become a couch potato for the rest of forever and like totally forget about every single responsibility that I have. That's just sort of a very exaggerated example. For the most part is, yeah, I'll be kind to myself, but then we forget, or there's other responsibilities that we have um, that take priority over taking care of ourselves or doing something good for ourselves. Or if you're a parent or you come from a certain uh, like culture, then the answer may be more, oh, but I feel guilty. I feel bad if I were to treat myself, or if I were to do something, or if I were to dismiss someone's opinion, or if I were to like not talk or not respond, or whatever it is. We usually just feel this immense guilt. Uh, Partially is because it's something that's really new to us. So guilt is sort of how we're trying to process it, right? So the first few times that you try being kind to yourself, you might feel guilty. You might be like, am I spending too much money on myself? Like, is this even a good decision? You might think, I was like, is this even worth it? Like, I'm just picking a fight with a sibling because I just thought, hey, maybe I just say no in this situation and I don't want to go, hang out with these people or whatever it be. But I think one of the things that I usually have to bring up during my therapy sessions with people is that we often forget to say, hey, that's something that's outside of my control. That's something I can't do anything about. That is something that, I tried my best in and it just didn't work out. It's not like, maybe next time I'll make better decisions. A phrase that who I don't remember who I got this from. I think it might have been another therapist that I interviewed at some point. And their advice to their clients was, you did the best that you could with what you had at that time.
which is true. We That's what we do for the most part. Most of us, the large majority of us, when we make a decision, we make it based on the information that we have available. Now, later on in like 10 years, we're like, what was I thinking using this? Wait, where's the, no, the other way. That, that right there. Who was the one that invented wallpaper? I mean, it's a great, nice pattern, but to have it all over, it's a little overwhelming. I think, and also I'm not used to it anymore. But anyway, whatever. Like you're like hindsight, like I shouldn't have, used the wallpaper in like all over the house. I shouldn't have done that. Well, you did, and it was trendy, and you thought it was a great pattern or whatever it might be, right? So, uh, there's only so much we can do. I think there's a difference between being or engaging in self compassion and just dismissing any sort of like responsibility. There's a joke that I have with my siblings where sometimes if I do something or something happens at the house, I will be like, "Who did this one thing?" Or I would just like flat out like accuse them and you know using a joking tone and be like, "Did you leave the dishes in the sink?" Or whatever. And they're like, "Why are you blaming me? It was you." It's often me because I forgot. About it, but that's sort of like the joke where I'm like, well, it can't be my fault. I don't want to be like, I don't want to blame myself, so I have to blame anyone else. And then the joke is that eventually we can't blame anyone because everybody has an alibi for whatever thing happened at the house. It was the dog. Obviously, it was the dog, right? Because it can't be our fault. So not that if we use it in like a real situation where like I made a huge mess at the Airbnb where I'm staying. And then I say, "Oh no, I that wasn't there when I left." And obviously I made it, or because nobody else has access to the house or whatever. That's me just sort of like avoiding responsibility, right? A lot of, I'm trying to help you here, but you are not listening to me, you're not responding, it's your fault, you should do something about it. Sometimes we don't know how the way that we speak or tone of voice or the words that we use or that we choose are impacting other people. So we often go into it was you, it's not me. It was the company, it was the whatever it was, right? Even though we should have double checked or we should have, done something for that. So there's a difference in that. So kind of backtracking a little bit, just as a reminder, self-care is self-care, self-compassion needs kindness to ourselves, right? It needs constant practice of being kind and uh, reminding ourselves that we are not always responsible for everything that happens, that there are um, things that happen in the world that we have no beef or like we have no idea or we have no say in, or whatever, and it's not really necessarily our fault. And also, so that's okay, that's one, right? And then step two is remembering that we're not alone, because again, like just when it comes to sort of responsibility, or instinctive, maybe not yours in particular, but instinctive reaction is always to blame someone else because I don't want to be blame myself, right? And if I don't have good insight of the situation, or there's so many things going on, I'm struggling with my own things that I don't see how I affect other people's decisions or wherever it is, we might immediately default to that. And just as we try to not feel it, even though deep down we know it was kind of our fault. I'm the one that left the dishes there, right? And caused a problem for everyone, or I'm the one that made the mess. and I'm trying to argue that it wasn't me. Um, we do something similar where when we are going through a difficult situation, we end up believing that we're the only ones. You don't understand what I am experiencing. Um, and that might be true, that other people might not fully 100% understand everything that we're experiencing. Uh, but that doesn't mean other people might not have similar experiences, right, as others. So we have to remember that there's other people out there who may have similar experiences that can help us out. My parents, I am 34, 34. I am 34, and my parents are older, and they're getting older. And I think once age started catching up to them, I would start hearing them say things like, I'm useless, I can't do anything anymore. And I'm like, no, well, you see here, like, this is sort of um, a different stage in your life, right? That you can't do the things that you could do before, but that doesn't mean you're completely worthless. You are able to do a lot of different things, maybe not in the way that you imagine them or in the way that you wish that you could, because time, money, energy, effort, those are all things that vary from person to person, and also depending on like the situation that we are experiencing. But what, man, I lost track of what I was gonna say. I should have written like an outline, because then otherwise I'm like, yeah, let me just tell you this one story and I totally forget what else I'm saying. Wait, so I was saying I heard my parents talk a lot about how they're useless, right? Because we no longer, we, their children, no longer need them as much or as often or in the same capacity that we used to when we were younger. And now they're kind of like, well, then what is the point of my life if I am not, a parent, or if I'm not here to uh, to help you out? And the answer is that your role changes, right? As a kid, you had certain responsibilities. As an adult, as a teenager, as an older adult, you all have different sort of responsibility, different ways that you can give back to the community. And one of those ways is to be able to um, be there for people who are just experiencing the new changes in life, right? Or they have bad experiences that you have already experienced. Um, but it's really difficult, because in order for us to be able to do something like that, we kind of have to be vulnerable, right? We have to open up about the things that we feel, the things that we are experiencing, and it's not always comfortable to do so. Let me just wait, delete this one message. This is super annoying when there's some rando that joins the stream, and then they're just like, if you want more viewers, click this link or whatever. And I'm like, bro, no thanks. Oh yeah, there you go. Done. Um, yes, we have to be vulnerable when we are in a community, when sometimes when we are communicating, because that is how other people can better understand us, right? So when I was first, I always knew that I had anxiety, that I was an anxious person. I was not really aware that I had ADHD, or the ADHD was sort of like the root cause of a lot of my anxiety. And my brother used to sing this like silly little song whenever he saw me do something that was sort of like a ADHD like behavior. And because I've lived with it my whole life, and pretty much everyone in my family is neurodivergent in some way, I never really noticed. Oh no, my computer's gonna die. Hold on. No, we have to switch. We have to switch from this view to this other one because the cable doesn't work, or doesn't reach all the way to the other side. Oh, this is a terrible angle for me. I'm gonna go find a box. Hold on. There. Much better. What am I going to fidget with? I'm going to fidget with this one. All right. So, I forgot what I was saying. This background is cooler. It is nicer. Um, the other one's a little creepy, but I since there's so many like cool stuff here, I was like, oh, let's just do a different background every day. I'm gonna sit in front of Vecna tomorrow. No, that's creepy. I don't think I can do that. Like a 2 hour stream, which is like Vecna behind me. Um. Oh yeah, we have to be vulnerable. Okay, so my brother was singing this sort of like little silly little song, right? He was like ADHD, ADHD. And eventually I was like, you know what? I kind of see now. So maybe I should seek a second opinion because I don't want to diagnose myself. That would be a mistake. So I went to sort of consult with two different psychiatrists, and we sort of like all eventually came to the conclusion that yes, I had ADHD and anxiety. Um, so when I first got the diagnosis, like a for sure kind of diagnosis, then I started talking to my friends, and then I would say, oh, anyway, so my ADHD brain, blah blah blah, and even with like random people, I kind of like blend into the background with this shirt color. um, I will say things like, "Oh, sorry, it's just my ADHD brain. What did you say?" Or like, "Oh no, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm just like my own anxiety is like what's acting up," and that little bit of vulnerability is what I think helped a lot of other people feel comfortable talking about their own symptoms or even asking me questions about it, right? Because I think at one point I just had like I think I was cleaning or reorganizing something. I just had a whole bunch of like things on the floor in my house, took a picture, and I was like, oh, this is what happens to ADHD brain, whatever. And then I started getting messages of like, how do you know, how do you find out, how do you manage this, where can I go for help, kind of thing. So being a little bit vulnerable is what allows other people to feel comfortable also sharing. And for us to be able to practice good self compassion, we have to be a little bit vulnerable with our community, with our loved ones. Obviously, not like just go out there and like tell everyone your problems. Like, don't do that. But make sure that you have like a social support and people that are helping you out, and be vulnerable with them, and say things like, like, it's really hard, I didn't expect this, or I'm really struggling, I need help. Everyone does. Everyone needs help every now and then. And again, everybody has different roles, right? So just like my parents took care of me when I was younger, I can take care of them now that I'm older, in certain aspects. And I love helping my friends, and I don't mind helping strangers every now and then. So I kind of have to remind myself that it's okay to ask for help, right? Because that's what reminds me that I'm not the only one that is experiencing these things, that other people are too. And so we have being kind to yourself, having a community, right? You're not alone, you're not the only one that is experiencing these things. And the third one is just being mindful. You have to be mindful of how we impact other people, how other people impact us. Recently there was a situation in my personal life. I don't feel comfortable sharing all of the details, so, and also they don't really matter. But it was a situation where I had to reflect on what true friendship was. I had to reflect on what kind of friend I was, and whether or not I was living or acting according to my values. Right? So we have to be mindful really at every day. And this is again where, like, it's a simple concept, right? Like, just be kind to yourself, you're not alone. Be mindful of how you're impacted and how you impact other people or whatever. However, like, in practice, it's really difficult to do because we get so busy. I forget things. My brain was not created to be mindful most of the time, because I don't know, ADHD, squirrels everywhere, right? But I forgot where I was going with this. I keep looking at the background. It's like so nice. You're right. It's a good background. I need a picture here. I need a stand for like my phone. I realized that a lot of the stuff here, it requires sort of like a wide shot, and I have sort of like baby arms, so they don't reach very far. So when I'm trying to take a picture, it's just my face and like this much of the background. So that's kind of not great. Anyway, being mindful is hard. We kind of have to practice a lot. It is not something that comes easily to most of us. If you're neurodivergent, it definitely doesn't come easy to you. And it might be even more difficult, because what if you're being mindful and then you get all these flashbacks, or don't make fun of my baby arms. You know what I was thinking now? I was just thinking of, like, how if you doubted my having ADHD, here's this prime example. I am now diving into a whole different topic because I was reminded of raccoons and their weird, cute, like really cute little arms. Like they like have like a possible was it opposable thumbs, and then they just, but then they have like these like long nails, and they're kind of like a dog's paw, but a little bit more human. It's like so weird, and they're so cute, and they're so fat and fluffy. Anyway, crocodiles. Wait, back to topic. Yeah, so it's very difficult being mindful, um, but it does get better with practice. If you are neurodivergent, something that I found very helpful is engaging in any sort of art or crafty sort of like endeavor that I really enjoy doing, because that helps me focus in the moment, and sort of like pay more attention, right? Instead of like allowing my brain to sort of like just circle around like all these sort of like ideas of of everything, really. Again, this is a terrible angle. The TVs are all like my height. I think the camera is supposed to be here. What if I like sit on the floor? Would I just become a head? Is this better if I just. What if I just did the stream from down here? And this is how you get to see. Or like this. You know, when you're like in a pool, you're like, hey, what's up? Get in the pool. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm kind of tired now, and my brain is fuzzy. Too many thoughts. Anyway, so are there any other questions? Or like any other questions? Any questions about it? About self-compassion. Yeah, we just need to be kinder to ourselves. Come on, guys. It's not that hard. Says the therapist in me. And the client in me totally ignores this part. Because it is hard. It's something that we have to put effort into practicing, into doing it, into making sure that we are leveling up on it. And you see, like you see slowly the change, like once you start paying more attention to how your own words, your own behavior sort of like influence other people, the way that you provide feedback, the way that you may or may not be kind to other people instead of choosing to be nice. What else? Your preferences for anything in terms of like how people communicate with you, how you communicate with others, whether it's like a sensory thing, like being mindful is sort of like paying attention to all of those things. And once you start paying attention to those things, it, well, at least for me, it was very hard to go back on it. I didn't want to go back to a time where I was masking or pretending to be someone that I was not. Because now it's very sort of like uncomfortable, and I'd rather not do that. And like I'm getting to the age where I'm like, comfort is the way to go. That is what I like. At one point in my mid 20s, I bought a whole bunch of supplies for camping, and I've only been camping like twice. And now I'm like, mm-mm, glamping or nothing. Or we come back home the same day because comfort is important. I think, too, in order to prevent burnout, for myself, I kind of have to be more conscious of like my own comfort level. So, yeah. Man, I left out my artwork that I did today outside. I wanted to show you guys, but I can't because I left it outside and I don't want to go get it. Because it's dark and there's a demi dog outside. Good thing is I don't have to go through Vecna to go to the backyard, but it is really dark outside and I'm here alone and I don't want to go outside. Plus, I think it's getting cooler and I don't want to go outside. I said that like 4 times. But in case you doubt it, I don't want to go outside. And yeah, I don't know. I can ramble on for ages more, but I need a topic. You know what I've heard? I left my phone over there. I guess it's too late. So, somebody earlier today was saying that season 5 of Stranger Things was going to be sad. Okay, so it is. Wait, what the heck? Okay, so season 5 premieres November 26th. Oh, the whole season drops. Nope. No, it doesn't. Not the whole season. It is uh four. Four episodes drop on November 26th, and then December 25th, two episodes, and then the last this episode. What the last episode is December 31st? What the heck? Well, now you all know. Shall we watch these? We can probably watch season 5. One of the things that I miss about being in college with my friends is that now we can go to the theater or like hang out and be like, did you watch what, like, so and so, or like this show? Like, what do you think about it? Can't do that anymore. Again, part of that's kind of like partially why I created Psychology for Geeks, that and because I really wanted to help my community. And I was actually, part of the reason why I decided to do today's topic on self compassion is because I spend a lot of time, energy, and effort into doing this fundraiser at this Stranger Things fundraiser, and it did not work out at all. How I expected. I am trying to do the best that I can now with what is available to me, but it's not like I was able to foresee what's happening uh, in the political world or financial world. Maybe other people that are more smarter than me had that figured out, but I definitely didn't. And I recognize that we're still growing, which is still a baby nonprofit, and uh, not everyone loves Stranger Things, which they should. It's a great show. And also, not everyone's available. I know there was a bunch of other events that were happening in the area this weekend. So, yeah. Wait, what was I saying? Anyway, that's why I chose to do self compassion today. Wait, there was a point to this. Yeah, I forgot it. Stay tuned for whenever I remember. Anyway, oh yeah, yes, I remember now. I was talking about how, well, we didn't do so well with this fundraiser. We also didn't do so well with the video game tournament fundraiser. There was a lot of good things that came out of it. Don't get me wrong, but funding, getting donations has been a little bit difficult because everybody's sort of like on a similar boat, right? Like money is kind of tight right now, and I want to go back to the time where I was doing all of this for my community and for people who were just kind of like me, wanting to geek out with other people, want to talk about mental health, and wanting to do like fun things together. So I'm gonna focus on that and not so much on all the negatives, I guess. That's what I choose to focus on. But yeah, times are hard. But one thing that we can definitely do is we can watch the show together, season 5 when it comes out. We can watch it on Discord, in our Discord community. If you guys are interested, I will want to because none of my siblings watch that show. Maybe I can convince the youngest one to watch it with me, but there's no guarantee. Like we have like the opposite sort of like work schedule. So wait, when is? Oh, no! I clicked on something. November 26th is, it's a Wednesday. I wouldn't be able to watch it that day. I will have to wait until the 27th to watch it. Wait a minute, isn't that Thanksgiving? One, two, three, four. Yeah, is it? I don't even know. anyway, yeah, if you guys are interested, we can watch that. I might just watch it anyway, like on stream, even if nobody else kind of like shows up, because I want to watch it. Um, what was the other thing I wanted to watch? Oh, I think I wanted to watch Marvel Zombies or something like that on stream, but then I forgot. I think I mean, this month has been tough. I've been sick more often than not. Um, no, you know what? I don't want to. I was gonna be like, ooh, let's figure out what season 5 has. Wow, Stranger Things has 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and 8.6 on IMDb. It's pretty good. Um, what was it saying? Yeah, I forgot. You know what? Maybe we should do a stream. I wonder if Star will be down to stream with me tomorrow. Star is a resident artist, one of three that we tend to work with quite often. And she was sharing a bunch of wisdom today. Yeah, so it'd be kind of cool for her to join us. Maybe we can talk about like conspiracy theories. I call them conspiracy theories, but they're not. What are they? Wait, what are they called? Uh, uh fan theories? I don't know. There's a name. I'm so tired, you guys. I'm old. This is around the time when, yes, Star is great. That's why I love working with her. Wait. Oh yeah. This is the point of at the end of the day where my brain is like, we have been working all day. We have been thinking and thinking and thinking. Not always in a very good way. Sometimes it's just overthinking and ruminating and not very helpful. But it thinks a lot, and then at the end of the day, my brains are like dead. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it quits today, unless you guys have any questions about either the house, the experience of staying here, or anything about self compassion. I can stay a little bit longer. And oh my gosh, I was like, we have to move because it doesn't reach. Now I'm looking over and there's a plug right behind the chair I was using. So anyway, yeah. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas, suggestions? Thank you for joining today. I see we have a handful of people that have joined. Yesterday we only had one person, so that's great. um, if you do end up deciding to stay at a theme home, um, I feel like the pictures that this Airbnb has online, they just do not do it justice. Yeah, there's like the backgrounds that I showed you guys, but there's like so much more detail into it that just didn't really. Oh, maybe it's just my ADHD brain chose not to totally ignore all of that. Um, but yeah, like so you ever decide to stay at an Airbnb that's themed of something, it's a really cool sort of like experience. I highly recommend it. Just try not to bring too many items that are outside of the theme, I think, because then it just kind of kills the whole vibe. I made this video in the morning about like making waffles and how waffles are the only breakfast that's allowed in this home or whatever. And I think I did a little shot of like right here, but then we had all of our boxes with the paint stuff right there, and it just killed the whole thing. It just, I was like, oh, should have moved them out of the way. So that would be my recommendation. Just try not to bring a lot of things that are outside of the era or outside of the vibe of it, so then you can sort of like stay in the vibe. I thought maybe that's the only thing that's allowing me to like survive and not be like super mega scared out of my mind. That I'm listening to streamers. Um, because at night I have to go around the whole house and like turn off all the lights. And do I totally avoid going to the kitchen or anywhere with fake nice? Yes, I do. I'm scared cat. Even though like even I know it's there, I know it's plastic, I know it's fake. I go in there and then I just kind of like want to look at all the details and I'm like, but it's so creepy looking. Like, so anyway, thank you for a great stream. Thank you for joining me, for participating, and for listening to me ramble on. I hope to be able to do. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna do another stream. I don't know what I could talk about tomorrow. Maybe I can talk about friendship. Actually, I was gonna be self advocacy, but yeah, maybe I talk about friendship or whatever else I come up with. It'll be in theme though. Maybe grief. No, I talk about grief a lot. That is one of um, the topics that a lot of people are interested in. Grief. Maybe I should talk. Anyway, there's this painting, like that's like over there in front of me, that the mom looks really weird and kind of creepy, and it's creeping me out. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. If you guys ended up coming in and you guys missed the tour of the home, you'll be able to watch the VOD immediately after I end the stream. So fear not. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything like that, do put them in the comments, and I do read them eventually, and I'll keep them in mind. What was your thing? Oh yes, please. If you're new here, we are Psychology for Geeks, or I'm Dr. Elizabeth from Psychology for Geeks, and we are a nonprofit. We blend mental health and hobbies to encourage everyone to take care of their mental health. If you are on Twitch, one way to support us is if you can connect your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime. You can gift a free Prime, will be free to you, to any streamer, and that helps fund our efforts to doing more events kind of like this. Um, what other was? Oh, you can donate. I know there's a no. There's a QR code right here. It will lead you to where you can donate for us. If you are on YouTube, and or you are not in a situation where you can financially donate at this point, watching our content, sharing our content, joining our community, participating, volunteering, all that is super mega extra helpful as well. One of the cool things that we'll be doing in November is that we're doing these workshops. They are a little bit, we're asking a little bit more than we usually do. But you get to keep a game, and also we would do like a more hands-on workshop about depression, especially because tis the season for depression, unfortunately. So we'll be doing that. So hope you guys can participate. If not, check out the other online things that we're having in on Halloween. We'll be having a panel talking about horror movies, Guillermo del Toro's horror movies, and then we'll have I think I was talking to Star, potentially doing like this fun art activity during the stream as well. We'll be reading some horror stories from all over the world. I still need to figure this out. Uh, oh, actually, you can send them to us. Like if you see any horror story from like different parts of the world, or horror story from your own home country or hometown, you can send a link to like a summary. You can write a summary for the stories. You can either DM them to us, or you can post it on Discord. There's a channel there for that. What's the other thing? Yeah, so we're going to be doing a whole bunch of events. So just, head over to our website, check out what we're doing. That is one way to support us. I feel kind of weird about just asking people to give me money, because I understand that one, you know who we are, what we're using the money for. Two, times are tough. Like it's not always possible to do that. Not everyone is as able to do that. So that's why we always try to do some sort of event or some sort of workshop, so you can take something for your donation. We want it to be a win-win situation, sort of like for everyone. And also the money that you donate to us kind of goes back into the community, whether it is to hire local artists or to organize additional events, stuff like that. Yeah. Mm, yeah. So if you would like to support us, head over to our website. You can wait, this one. Look at the QR code right here, and yeah, follow us, subscribe, give us money, volunteer with us. Anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. That helps a lot, even if it's LOL or heart emoji, or scared emoji. Uh, I was away. What's something that is like Stranger Things themed? Is there an emoji that screams Stranger Things? Actually, yeah, that would be the thing. Just leave an emoji that says something about Stranger Things. That's kind of like a hint or as part of it. And yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I know it was a really short stream. I think I was supposed to be streaming for like 2 or 3 hours today, but I am dead tired. So you know what? Maybe I can do a stream like earlier in the day. I will try to. I'll see. I'll see um, if everything works out. Maybe we'll do a stream a little bit earlier. See if that works better with my brain. Because doing it this late at night is just tired. I should have taken a nap earlier. I didn't. Now I'm cranky. Like, not only do I have baby arms, but I also have baby temper. Like, if I don't get my nap, I'm just not ready to go at 9 p.m. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Do join our community, share with your loved ones, your friends, so we can all hang out and talk. And don't forget to reframe and re-enchant your life. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow for our next stream. Bye.